Hi everyone, my name is Karolina Nowak, and this is my Genius Hour project. My chosen Genius Hour project was a recreation of the Roman theater of Bosra in Syria on a much smaller scale. I chose this specific project because I have a great love for antiquity and building. So, combining those two, I chose to recreate a piece of architecture from the Roman Empire, and I tried my hand at building it. My results. I think my recreation is pretty much a success. It's not a horrible, but it delivers the idea. It is honestly quite bland, I admit that, and it looks like my little sister could remake it in a few days. But I'm proud of it, and I'm proud of all the planning and work that was put into it. My plan was to roughly capture the image of the theater. I definitely didn't plan on creating a masterpiece. Um, and obviously, it's quite different from the real thing. It has much less windows and columns, as well as no bleachers or other surroundings. In the beginning, I planned on adding bleachers because I thought I would have had enough time. But then I just scrapped it because obviously it would just take too long, and I didn't have time for it. The process. A lot of effort was put into this project, especially the planning. I researched and read a lot on miniature recreations and the materials that were used. A lot of people use 3D printers and quality materials, high quality materials, but since I had no access to either, I improvised and used what I had around the house as well as what I could find that was relatively cheap. I wrote and rewrote my plans many times, trying to come up with the cheapest and easiest solutions. And to the right is a picture of one of my early plans. It pretty much stayed the same, but my later plans just included prices and actual like um definite measurements and whatnot. But all the materials pretty much stay the same in the design. So once I came up with the materials and whatnot, I began to create my theater. I ran into problems right away with the air dry clay. The air dry clay was a crucial part of the plan because it is the material that was used for the columns and bricks. It took forever to dry and cracked very easily. I realized I needed to take a week or two to make all of the bricks and the columns so that when I needed to, I would be ready to use them and they wouldn't crack or break or anything. The most difficult part was the building of the columns. On the inside is a wooden popsicle stick, um, and then I would just layer clay around it. The popsicle sticks would suck up all the moisture and then cause uneven drying. The clay would crack and fall off in big pieces and also in small pieces, and I wouldn't be able to fix it. I went through two runs of this process with no luck, and then I decided to ask JJ if she had any help. It was very last minute, and she gave me some sticks and told me to soak it in some sort of like glue to see if that would work. I redid the columns and layered them with matte Mod Podge, which is a lifesaver that I had laying around from other projects after everything dried. The columns stayed together after they had cracked overnight, and I was saved from heartbreak. The downside to this was that I only had time to make 8 columns, as like I said, it was severely last minute, and I just didn't have the patience to make more. So my final project has only 8 columns. Originally, it was supposed to have like 20, but yeah. All in all, the physical part of the project took longer than I expected, and it was a bit rushed as I didn't have the time that I planned um, after I had worked out and detailed everything. Um, I obviously didn't take into account that maybe, probably, I'd have setbacks or broken pieces and whatnot. My final thoughts. I'm quite proud of myself and my project. It may not be overwhelmingly pretty, but I taught myself a bit along the way. For example, how to work with air dry clay and wood. I also learned that problems can take a bit to solve. They don't have to be worked around in on one day. Before, I would always just try to come up with solutions to problems like right on the spot. But with this project, I took my time and I came up with better solutions. Um, I really enjoyed this project. It gave me the freedom to be creative and have the time to do whatever I like and what I enjoy. It was a great break from regular essays and assigned reading and schoolwork. Thank you for your time, and I'm proud of everyone and their projects.